What is going on, everybody? The Brett Man here from Goodwill Hunting, and this is a little bit of a special live stream I've decided to put together here. What I'm pretty much going to do. I know we've done a lot of like spoiler stream or like spoiler reviews, spoiler thoughts, yada yada yada. But I just figure what we're going to be doing here today is are going to be just having a hangout section, if I do say so myself. We're going to hang out, and if y'all have anything you all want to talk about for Scream 7, right here, Scream 7 spoiler stream. So if y'all have like any thoughts you just want to talk about with or ask any questions about Scream 7, this is indeed a spoiler stream. So if you have not seen Scream 7, I do not recommend you watching this stream yet. Watch it after you watch Scream 7. If then you could come back here, if then you could just ask your questions in the comment section down below, or if you're in the chat here, ask your questions away. We're just going to hang out, I would say, about an hour or so. So I think we could get done with a lot of things in an hour. So let's say hello to everyone in the chat, and let's just see who all is here. We got Ashton. What's going on there, Ashton? How are you doing? He's just reminding everyone to kindly to slash that like button, subscribe, pop up the stream after the fact, and share the stream or get the belt. Which Ashton, I'm not sure what your obsession with belts is lately, but you might need to go see somebody for that. I do know of a good belt therapist, so if you need help, I got you, buddy. But Ashton, thank you so much for hanging out. And yes, Ashton has shared the Discord group for Goodwill Hunting, where we talk about all the horror topics. We just hang out, we just talk about life, and we also do chills and thrills on there for the auditorium. So if you do not have a copy of a movie for the chills and thrills episode, we'll show the movie on there. So tonight we are doing The Evil Dead. So over on the Discord, right there, this link right here on the Discord, we will be showing The Evil Dead to you, just in case if you all do not have Evil Dead to watch with us here tonight. But that's over on the Chills and Thrills channel. All right, so it's here. We got Atanas. What's going on there, Atanas? How are you doing? Hopefully all is going well. We got Gene Whitcomb. What's going on there, Gene? How are you doing? We got Matt. What's going on there, Matt? Saying you already seen this movie twice. Unfortunately for me, I have not gotten the ability to watch it twice. I am hoping to do so, but if not, I'll just wait for it to come out, and then that's where I'll just do usually my full break it down of the movie then. But Matt, it is great to see you, my friend. We got Paula. What's going there, Paula? How are you doing? I freaking love this movie, and I'm glad you freaking love this movie. I think it's great for everybody that does love this movie. It definitely beats the hate that this movie is supposedly it's getting. I don't think it's necessarily deserves that hate at all. Let's see here. Okay, sorry, I was reading a text real quick. Actually, I am going to respond to this text because it is something very important. So I do apologize for getting on my phone. I'm already breaking the rule on here. I'm a douche. Let's see here. So Sorry, I had to answer that real quick. So let's see here. Let's get back to you all. We got Dean. What's going on there, Dean? How are you doing? Hopefully, all is going well with you. And we got Denise. What's going on there, Denise? How are you doing? Saying hello, Brett. Man, how it going? I'm here, slashing good time, and definitely it's going to be a slasher good time. Absolutely, it will. Let's see here. Yeah, and again, we're just hanging out. So if there's just anything you want to talk about Scream 7, I figure I'd take a different approach to this spoiler stream. So if y'all just have any questions or just any thoughts about Scream 7, let's talk about it. So what would be the first thing we want to talk about here? Let's try this comment here. Let's see here. Screams. This is from Matt. Scream 7 had my favorite kills of the franchise. Hannah's death was so awesome. Then Sydney walks and says motherfucker and then shoots at Ghostface. Yeah, I thought all of that was really great. I thought Hannah's death was really good as well. Definitely from a cinematography approach. I definitely enjoyed that. And that's the thing with Scream 7. I really dig the cinematography in this one. I thought they had a lot of great shots of Ghostface. They had a lot of great aftermath shots of the deaths. With the character Hannah, played by again McKenna Grace, which I'll go ahead and say this about. Or actually, I'm getting ready to go with Dean because Dean actually brought up my point. But Matt, I actually agree with you on the fact that I definitely thought Hannah's death was the best death in the movie. So let's see here. What else we got here? Let's get to Dean's here. Matt. He's talking Matt, but I do want to address it. But Hannah's death was the highlight, but they ruined it in the marketing and underutilized McKenna Grace. Yes, definitely. I agree with that there, Dean. That I definitely thought that McKenna Grace was absolutely wasted in this movie. And it's disappointing because, she's actually one of the biggest stars in Hollywood with the amount of movies that she is in. And I always joke that she is like the female counterpart of Steve Buscemi because Steve Buscemi is just pretty much in every movie you can ever think of that's big blockbuster. So, he's just making a lot of his money on those damn royalty checks from those movies. And I think McKenna Grace followed along that particular strategy, which great for her. And I think she is an actual really good actress, but I do agree that she is wasted in this movie. Brett, man, I'm gonna say it here and now. Stu not dead. He coming now. Dadgummit, Denise, you know for a fact that is absolutely not the case because what this movie proved is that Stu Mocker is dead. So I'm sorry for all the Stu fans out there. From this point on, throughout the entirety of the rest of the Scream franchise, Stu ain't coming back, and I am all for it. But I do agree because I was on Braden's stream last night as we were doing a deeper breakdown spoiler discussion of the movie Scream 7. I actually do agree with him with the fact that if there is an opportunity to do Stu, this would have been it with like what they got going on with Stu being part of the AI. So I would agree if we were going to do it, this would have been the movie that done it. But personally, for me, Stu's dead. He never needed to come back, but it was still great seeing him being on the phone and the AI stuff. So it's always just great seeing Matthew Lillard just doing what he does best, is playing a very deranged and crazy character. And of course, a character going, you gotta love Stu's. You definitely do. Let's see here. What else we hear? Start from the top with the opening. Kind of decent, but I think burning down the Mocker house is symbolizing the death of all the Stu. Dean, you know what? That probably so far is the greatest explanation of why the Stu house burned down. Because I did talk about on Braden's stream that I just highly disagreed with Stu's house being burned down. Because when you saw it in the marketing and everything, that you just think it was going to go somewhere with it. Like you think something big's going to happen with it. It has some kind of big meaning, but it really never came to be with that. Like again, if Stu were to be back, then it would have made sense to burn down Stu's house. But the only reason they burned it down is so that Gail, Chad, and Mindy can freaking go to wherever Sydney is, and just let her know, hey, Stu's house got burned down, and Cindy be like, yeah, okay, good and all, but what does it really have to do with this? Which I'll tell you, it had nothing to do with Cindy's particular situation. But yeah, so Dean, I love your thought process right there because it is a great symbolism that anything Stu just got burned, it's buried, it's done. So anything that Scream does in the future, Stu might get mentioned in some things, but just the idea of Stu coming back officially burned to the ground. I love that, Dean. That's great. Let's see here. If Stu was coming back, it had to be this movie, but they didn't pull the trigger. Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of disappointed with these last two Scream movies, which I love Scream 6, by the way. I ranked it as my number 2 in the franchise, but even I agree that I feel like they should easily take more risk or just not be scared to pull that trigger to getting off of or getting killed off a big character or just doing something epic. You know what I mean? So I agree with the Ashton. I wish they would just find their pair of balls and just really give us something shocking and exciting. I think Makina Grace has a bright future in the next few years. This was a great opportunity to showcase her. And yes, I agree, Brett. They wasted her. Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely should think that she has a wonderful future. Even I read some on the internet too that they wish that Makina Grace was Tatum. I was about to say Tatum Riley. Tatum Avens, which is Sydney's daughter. That she should have played Tatum. And I thought that could be really cool for the fact that Makina Grace is a great actress. Between her and Nev Campbell, they could have had a lot of great scenes together from an acting perspective. But I honestly do not have an issue with Isabel May. That is the actress that does play Tatum. I did not have an issue with her. The only really big issue I had was that they didn't utilize her enough because this was supposed to be a big movie to introduce that character and in hopes that she can carry the franchise to the next part, to the next stages of the Scream franchise, just because of the fact we're just getting a lot closer for Nev Campbell officially being done with Scream. And that was just, again, a missed opportunity. And that's the thing you'll hear me say a lot about this movie is that it's just a missed opportunity. We got yo Adrian. How you doing? What's going on there, Adrian? Just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Nope, I think we are all good there. So let me get back here. Really like the fight scene. Excuse me, really like the fight scene with Tatum, Sydney, Mark. It was done really well. Then when Ghostface gets run over and Gail gets out of the car, my theater clapped. It was such a badass moment. I wish I could say the same, Matt. Like with me, that kind of just really just like it's just too random for me. Like, yeah, like Gail's gonna show up exactly at that moment to take out a ghost face. I think that was just what we call too convenient. And I think it's like, honestly, for me personally, I just wasn't the biggest fan of that particular decision. But yeah, if you and your theater liked it, more to you. I love that you all loved it. And I'm glad it's in there for you all. But for me, I just feel like it was what we call a little bit of an overstretch. What if he came back in part 8 and never know that TV wasn't strong enough? No, Denise, stop it. The TV is strong enough. You know that. You're better than that. Let's see here. What else we got here? Didn't like how the girlfriend in the opening with or was complaining the whole time. She definitely needed to go. Yeah, but honestly, and Brayden went into tune to this himself, and I agree with him. It's the fact that yeah, you're going to have relationships where one person is going to be really passionate about something while the other person is not going to be as passionate about it. So like let's say for example, let's say if I had a girlfriend and that she was really digging into like K-pop Demon Hunter. It's just an example because I know it's a phenomenal anime movie or animation movie, really phenomenal. I even love that movie. But just for example, let's say if she really loves it and I just didn't, I can easily understand Scotty's girlfriend Madison in that particular situation. So I actually thought that was little bit cool, and definitely it was relatable and understanding for that fact. So I didn't have a problem with that scene at all. I thought the opening was really well done. Again, we got great cinematography shots with Ghostface in the dark, kind of like an homage to Halloween, where Michael Myers was in that dark, shadowy place with barely his white mask showing, kind of like this. Ooh, you see that kind of little effect right there? I got darkness over here and the light right there. Beautiful. But yeah, the opening I really enjoyed, and Madison had definitely a very excruciating death. It's just getting set on fire while the house is being burned down as well. So yeah, Madison didn't really have a good time at that Airbnb, and neither did Scotty. So I definitely would rate that opening. I would say somewhere towards the middle of my ranking if I had to do a ranking right off the bat. Let's see. Um, let's see here. Just looking at Ray. Doggy D7W. What's going on? How are you doing? Hopefully all is going well with you. That's a nice little picture of a doggy right there. It's a non-screen question, which I don't mind to answer this screen question real quick. Thoughts on Curse of Chucky? I definitely enjoy Curse of Chucky. I'm just not the biggest fan of Cult of Chucky, but definitely Curse of Chucky is a really good time. And that's all I'll just say at this point because I know certainly down the line, me, Brad, and Chris of Good Real Hunting, we will definitely get to more of the Child's Play franchise when it comes down to it. If I had another girlfriend and she doesn't like The Last of Us, instant breakup. Yeah, they come and Ashton. If they don't like The Last of Us, that's an immediate red flag. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. So, but hey, you know what? That's your business. I could be a little bit more forgiving of that. But I will say, if she chose Bulbasaur over Squirtle and Charmander, then yeah, that's my red flag too. So, so I totally get it. I am sad that Chad and Mindy didn't get enough attention in the movie, but hope in part 8 they get to kick butt. Yeah, and that's again, as I said, just when it comes to more terms of wasted opportunities, Chad and Mindy were definitely wasted in this movie as well, and I don't blame them as much when it comes to the actor and actresses. Same thing with everybody with here. I just thought overall the writing in this movie was not very strong, but in terms of Chad and Mindy, I don't blame Kevin Williamson because these are not really necessarily Kevin Williamson's particular characters that he made. These are more of the Radio Silence characters that Radio Silence made. So I don't blame Kevin Williamson, but here's my fact on the deal that if Kevin Williamson doesn't know how to use something or doesn't know how to use a certain character, I got an idea. Don't use them. That's my thing. Just don't use them. Don't put them in the movie because they absolutely had no purpose, in my opinion. And honestly, just still thinking about it, Chad should be dead. Let's not kid ourselves. Chad should be dead. But yeah, at the end of the day, though, I do like them character wise. But in this particular movie, they weren't needed. Let me get a sip of the agua real quick. Delicious. The worst part of the movie is that Gail, Chad, Mindy disappear from the third act, and why the hell didn't Sydney wait for Gail instead of running through the streets to find her daughter? You know what? And I've been seeing this question a lot too, and I'm glad you asked it because I definitely wanted to give my 2 cents on it. The reason here, let me lower that because we know where the question's going here, and you see Matt's question in the chat. Plus, I just need to see you all. But no, here's my deal on that. The whole scene where Gail finally gets her interview with Sidney Prescott. I think that was great. I think that's something that the franchise absolutely needed from a scene between the two. But it's just unfortunately, it's just with this movie and how they went about it. I just wasn't the biggest fan of that scene. I feel like again another missed opportunity that could have been the opportunity that Sydney could have really show vulnerability and really just come out with why she is the particular type of mother that she is to Tatum, to make sure that Tatum doesn't get involved with the mess that she got herself in within the past couple of these movies in this franchise. But again, we didn't. Nothing really came of it. So unfortunately, it's just disappointing. But when it comes to Gail, on the other hand, Gail was definitely the most useless character in this movie. I feel like, again, she should have died in Scream 6 because I just think at this point in time, Gail doesn't really necessarily offer anything else to the Scream franchise at this point. Because I'm just at the point, we just need fresh air into this franchise. And we were getting that with the Carpenter sisters. We truly, truly were. It's just unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get that final conclusion to the story that I personally want for a next Scream movie with the Carpenter sisters dealing with fixing the broken relationship between them and mother and father, because I think that could have been super, super interesting for a Scream movie of a great synopsis all by itself there. But again with Gail, I just think she just wasn't needed. She didn't need to be in this movie. She should have died in Scream 6. That should have been the big ballsy moment of Scream 6 is killing off Gail. But it is what it is. I'm glad if people like Gail in this movie, good, like awesome. I'm happy for you again. But just with this one, I just think that she was absolutely not needed. Let's see here. All right, let's see here. Skittles, Stephanie, what's going on there? How are you doing? Hopefully, all is going well with you. Thank you for hanging out. If you have any questions or anything you want to talk about with Scream 7, we are got about 40 more minutes left. Just drop it in the comments, and I'll be sure to try to get to it. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. Just came to say hello. Scream 7 was a good movie. 9 out of 10. Very high rating. There we go. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. And catch you later, Brett, man. Team Stew for life. Take cover, Denise. But Denise, you have a great night and appreciate you hanging out with us just for a little bit. Thank you. Um Gail had a great scene with the interview scene. I enjoyed it. And again, I wanted to enjoy it. It's just nothing necessarily came out of it of really honestly great importance. It's supposed to be important. It's supposed to be what probably one of the most important things out of the entire franchise if they just wrote it in better, in my opinion. That's just my take on that particular scene. And yeah, sorry, to go back to Matt's thing because he did ask why Sydney didn't wait on Gail because Sydney was pissed off at Gail and Gail had the keys to the van and she didn't want to have to deal with Gail at that moment. And plus, her daughter was in trouble and she didn't want to waste any time. So that's why she just freaking ran for it, which I feel bad for her because she had to run from the asylum to her coffee shop at downtown, in front of her coffee shop at downtown, all the way back up to her house. So that woman really worked on her cardio in this movie. I think Chad and Mindy have served their purpose and not really necessary anymore. Yeah, very good point. But you gotta remember, Ding, we do have a relationship between Chad and Tara. So you kind of wonder where it goes from there, or even if it goes anywhere, or if they just broke off and peacefully because Chad realized, yeah, if I keep on hanging around with Tara, I'm gonna get freaking God at some point. So I don't think they probably did serve their purpose, but I still enjoyed their characters, but I enjoyed them more on a what we call of a radio silence side of things versus a Kevin Williamson side of things. Uh, um, okay, Matt, great point. It felt like just to pad the runtime or an attempt to create danger for Tatum. The longer it takes Sydney to get to Tatum, the more time she's in danger. Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I Good comment right there. Just listening, waiting for Evil Dead. Again, Stephanie, it is the Evil Dead. I don't want you to get twisted on that because Evil Dead is in 2 weeks from now, not for tonight. So tonight is the Evil Dead from 1981. Matt Fauci, you sexy, fiery son of a bitch. What's going on there, man? How are you doing? Hopefully, all is going well with you. I am so excited to be on your channel on Tuesday talking all things Scream 7 and spoilers with you, Drum Dums. And I do apologize to the other individual that will be a part of that stream. I want to say it's Nick. If it is, awesome. Love to have Nick on. I think Nick is a really good YouTuber. If it's not Nick, and if I'm totally missing somebody, I do absolutely apologize. Which, Matt, if you're still here, who's the other person that's joining with you, me, and Lee? But this will be my first like roundtable discussion with Lee, so I'm gonna have to be on my A game on Tuesday because Lee is a great YouTuber. So I definitely want to just give an opportunity to kind of show my 2 cents about the franchise. Um, sorry, I was sorry. I gotta get this text again because again, it's very important. Which again, I will let y'all know what it is when it's time to talk about it. But it is on the kind of like the crunch time of this particular project that the Good Real Boys are participating in. So we don't want to like necessarily say too much about it. But I do have to respond back real quick. All right, sorry about that. I'll try. I'm trying not to get on my phone quite as much, but I only do it for important emergencies. Let's see here. Matt says the ever Matt. When Ghostface put Creepy Boy on the beer tab, that was badass, but didn't like how it continued by beer coming out of the mouth. Actually, Matt, that is what I actually enjoy about that scene. I know that particular death is a complete CGI shit show of a kill scene of a visual, but honestly, it's just the only thing I was thinking about the entirety of this time is, man, when my boy Chris sees this movie, when he sees Scream 7, because he loves his alcoholic beverages, when he sees that particular kill, he's going to be very, very happy with it. So I really enjoyed the kill, and I definitely thought it was really cool with the beer and the blood mixing together. I just thought that was really creative and a good visual effect, even though the CGI wasn't the best in the world on that, but sometimes you have to go the CGI route if you can't do something practical. Even though I feel like they easily could have done practical right there, but I'm sure they had their reasons. Yeah, see, I figured it was Nick, so I'm glad I did say Nick. So I just had a gut feeling about it. Let's see here. The movie ranker, Nick. What's going on there, Nick? How are you doing? Nick Cooling. Hopefully all is going well with you. And guys, I will say, me and Nick, we got something brewing over on his channel coming here soon. That's all I know I can say on that. So just you need to go subscribe to the movie ranker. Hit that notification bell because you might never know. I might pop up. When am I going to pop up? I don't know just yet. So stay tuned. Subscribe over to the movie ranker to see what possibly what we could be ranking over there. What's everyone's thoughts on them finally changing the formula? This time they don't rely on following the friend group to figure out who's doing everything. Also, no party scene this time around. Well, Ding, if you could kind of consider the bar scene being the party scene, because for the fact that they did have a very delicious spread, even though that damn bitch Chloe burnt freaking pizza, you don't ever, and I mean you do not ever burnt a saw. If you burnt a saw, you cannot be trusted. You might as well put on the Ghostface outfit and everything. Or you know what? And I'll show this. I'm not sure if y'all seen this on the Instagram or not yet. She could put on this little pumpkin ghost fast right here. How badass would it be if we get back to a Scream movie set on Halloween and this was the freaking mask? How freaking sick would that be? Let me know what your all's thoughts on that. But yes, but Ding, I do agree. It is a little refreshing to finally for them not to go on basic formula of a Scream franchise movie. And it was actually nobody from the friend group. So that was actually really refreshing. So that is a good point you brought up there. See here. Probably wasn't, but the bar kill could have been a nice homage to My Bloody Valentine shower kill. Yes. Or that like that little pipe, I think that's what you were referring to, is that little pipe down in the mines and just like yeah. So there you go. There's your all's funny visual of the stream. But yeah, I would say that's exactly what they were trying to go for, but just again, CGI in a slasher movie, just for me, just it doesn't mix very well. If you want a really successful slasher movie, you got to give me those practical effects. Oh, and another reason, because probably some people are thinking, where in the hell are Brad and Chris? Unfortunately, Brad and Chris have not seen this movie yet. So I told them I would go ahead and do some kind of spoiler discussion with you all. And then when they get a chance to see it, then I will ask them and you all will get their thoughts about Scream 7. Let's see here. She got what she deserved for burning the pizza. The whore. Yeah, exactly. So Chloe exactly got what she deserved. Fuck Chloe. Let's see here. Yes, Bretman. Yes, Bretman will be on the old movie ranker channel. Stay tuned. Well, just again, what in the world are we going to be ranking, guys? I'm scared. I'm scared. Actually, I'm not scared. I know exactly what we're ranking, but do you all know what we're going to be ranking? That's why, again, you need to stay tuned and find out and go subscribe over to the movie ranker. And Ashton, if you would do me the solid of a wrenchman, if you would share the movie ranker's YouTube link, that would be greatly appreciated. Was I the only one expecting Ghostface to get a glass and have a beer after that kill? You know what? He might as well should have, because he did a lot of damn damage in that freaking bar with killing off Lucas and Chloe the way they did, and also kicking Mindy and Cindy's ass too. Which again, that was kind of disappointing too. Chat easily got his ass whooped when in the past in Scream 6, he actually did a number on one of the ghost faces, and he really held his own. It's just when he got freaking double teamed, that's where he was kind of got overpowered. So yeah, Ghostface, he deserved a cold one after that particular kill. All right, so we got about 27 minutes left. So again, if y'all have any questions or anything in particular you want to talk about for Scream 7, just again leave it in that comment section. Or if you are watching after the fact, leave a comment down below of the video, and I will get to it and answer you as quickly as possible. And there we go. Ashton's just sharing that movie ranker. There it is. So go ahead and quickly go subscribe to Nick, Nick Cooling, and then just come right back here. And then we'll just finish this stream strong. I think what I would summarize my thoughts on the movie is I had a blast, was tense, but it's the most flawed in the script department by far. Yes, and that's why I was alluding to earlier about the writing of this movie was not very strong at all. Especially, and we could go ahead and talk about this, especially the third act. I thought the third act was easily rushed, and not only was it rushed, but the reveals of our killers, which was Anna Camp's Jessica, and I got to get this other actor's name just because, again, it was probably one of the most random Ghostface reveals in the history of the Scream franchise. So let's see here. Where's my boy at? Freaking Ethan Embry playing Marco, which is the psych ward worker. The fuck? That's what, like, literally when he like appeared like that, I was like, who? Which, if you do that and you don't have some good writing behind it, that is not a good look for your Ghostface reveals. But with Jessica's freaking Ghostface reveal, I called it. First off, I called it. It was one of the two. My second Ghostface I was supposedly calling was for Makina Grace. But if I knew I watched the trailer and just paid more attention to the trailer, I would have probably just taken Makina Grace off of my suspect list. But yeah, but Jessica's reasoning is for the fact that she read the Cindy's book from Scream 4, and it really just empowered her to kill her own husband. And then when Cindy didn't get to New York to help out the Carpenter sisters with that Ghostface situation, that's where she freaking went batshit crazy and started killing everybody and just being obsessed with the old Cindy. Just to me, it's just, from a writing perspective, it was just a mess at the end of the day. And I didn't like it. I really honestly didn't like the third act at all, where Tatum and Cindy blew off her face with all those multiple gunshots. I thought that was just a little just to me, a little too much with a particular Ghostface death. And it's just, I was not a fan of the third act at all. And plus, Mark, the officer, should have absolutely been dead, but he had to just borrow that plot armor suit of, he, like, Chad's like, you know what, man, I want you to be okay. Here, let me take it off. Here's your plot armor, my friend. And Mark goes, thank you, Chad. You're the best. So I just didn't like that Mark survived. Again, it's just that whole thing we talked about earlier, that the Scream franchise needs to find its balls again and pull the trigger and just be committed to kill off some of these characters, to just, again, to put some stakes into a Scream movie. Like Amber says, our movie has to have stakes. And that's exactly what the Scream franchise needs. Every movie needs to have some kind of stakes. Even I almost just say steak right there just because I'm craving the steak. But yeah, we need something. So hopefully with Scream 8, we can hopefully Scream 8 can find its balls again and give us something daring for a Ghostface, for a Scream movie. They picked Rusty Griswold for a Ghostface. Oh man, yeah, I can't believe they did that too. So it's crazy. I'm just telling you, it's crazy. Yeah, you could tell Spyglass was trying to write these at a rookie level. Yeah, and you know what? For this particular one, Spyglass should just kept his mouth shut and just let Kevin Williamson do all the work. But if it did turn out that Kevin Williamson did write this, or like, it's just crazy to me that someone of Kevin Williamson's like caliber of writing, he was okay with the third act being the way that it was. Because if I know that if he actually had possible like a full creative decision on that script, he could have easily wrote something better. Let's see here. Nick Cooling says the meta and the dialogue aspects weren't as strong as the other entries, which makes Scream different from the other slashers. Yes, that is absolutely true. But I did believe they said, like, in an interview, that this is going to be the least meta move, or the least meta Scream movie in the franchise. So they did give us a little warning that it's not going to be as meta as the other Scream movies are, which I agree with you. That is good from a perspective that it is going to separate itself from the other Scream movies. But guys, that's pretty much why we love the Scream movies, okay? We love it for the meta. We love it for the geek dialogue of the the horror genre. That's why we invest so much time into the Scream franchises for those two aspects alone. And yeah, and that's probably why this movie is not getting as good recognition or critic reviews or just reviews overall, because it's definitely missing that meta aura that the Scream franchise is known for. Anna Camp's character should have been related to Stu. It made no sense to use Stu as AI in this and not having some sort of related to either of them. Yes, and I was like for my prediction, I was expecting that Anna Camp's character being Stu's sister, because they did introduce that idea in Scream 5 when it came to Kyle Gallner's child being killed, which the child which his mother being Stu's sister. So I feel like they could have play up to something like that into this movie, especially with using Stu as much as they did with AI. So I am absolutely agreeing with you on that, Ashton. That would have made it so much better. It would have made the motive so much stronger. Anna Camp should have been Leslie Mocker. Yeah, again, that's what we were just referring to, and had a stronger arc. The crazy obsessed neighbor thing was underwhelming. Yeah, it's underwhelming, and it's just honestly to me just lazy and too predictable. And I understand too that with all the marketing they've been doing, if you really paid attention to the marketing, you could figure out who the two killers were. So again, it's just a missed opportunity. And I know I've used that word a bunch already, but it's honestly true. This movie is forever going to be known, the Scream movie, of a lot of missed opportunities to do something cool and unique. If you make Anna Camp Leslie at the reveal, she unmasks. Sydney sees her and just says, Leslie? And then the monologue motive could have been what you did to my brother, and you let the audience make the connection that she's Stu's sister. Yeah, again, that is 110% times 110 times better than what we got originally in this movie. I'm sure, and Brayden even alluded to this earlier, I am sure that there is a better script out there. And there has been some rumblings. I did see an Instagram post earlier today that the original idea for Scream 7 is for Ghostface to kill off Tara. And with that in mind, that Melissa Barrera becomes, or as Sam Carpenter goes up, that becomes Ghostface. And then that's where we were going to get Sydney versus Sam Carpenter in a one-on-one fight, Sydney versus Ghostface. And I thought that is definitely daring, and I would have absolutely been down for that, because it would have just been it would be like a path of two different final girls. A final girl choosing the right and justice path, while the other final girl, she tries to be good and just to do the right thing. Something, she just had that one bad day and that one bad thing, that her sister dying, she goes the opposite way and chooses the path of evil. And I think that could have been cool, that these two final girls go on different paths, but they meet here together to go one-on-one in a fight. And that would have, again, just been a lot of fun too. And plus it would have had some emotional connection, because again, Sam Carpenter is the daughter of Billy Loomis, and Cindy dated Billy Boy, like Billy Loomis. So again, there was a lot of history right there that needed to be explored, and that would have been just cool to watch. Herbert, what's going on there, Herbert? How are you doing? Hopefully all is going well with you. You just saw Scream 7 last night. Well, what did you think about it? Did you really enjoy it? Did you find it's just to be somewhere in the middle of the road, or do you just absolutely despise this movie? Let us know in the comments or in the chat. Let's see here. Daniel Garcia, man, long time no see. That is, what's going on there, Daniel? How are you doing? Hopefully, all is going well with you. Let me get your comments here. It's been a while, my friend. The best friend of the Prescott Scream. Excuse me. The best friend The best friend of the Prescott Scream lead has never been a Ghostface killer. They should do that, and Leslie Walker should have been a future Ghostface killer. Which, again, we did talk about that. That Anna Camp was the perfect actress to play Leslie Walker as a Ghostface killer. Again, missed opportunity on that. All I can say is that I am glad that they cannot take the Scream franchise to space as they have done it in other franchises such as Friday the 13th, Leprechaun, Critters, Hellraiser. Oh, I didn't know they sent Dracula to space, so that's a new one. I had no idea Dracula went to space, but that's a little daring for Dracula because there's not as much blood in space as there is on the planet Earth. But hey, I will say this about Scream franchise and the whole terminology of space: never say never. They could be that desperate, so never say never. I really do enjoy it, but I wasn't at all interested in the two killer reveals. I still don't know who the bald guy was. Well, again, the bald guy, his name is Marco, and he was played by Ethan Embry, or Ethan Embry, that is. Not Ethan, Ethan Embry, played as Marco, and he was one of the psych workers there. Like, when that was at the psych ward, where they tried to place into our mind that Stu was living there under the name of John Doe. Which, like, are you freaking kidding me? You're not going to be recognizing someone as famous as Stu in the Scream universe. Like, come on, like, were we really freaking buying that? But yeah, that's who the bald guy was, Herbert. All right, and I know we got about 15 minutes left, so let me go ahead and just ask you all the very daring question, and then we'll just start to wrap everything up here within the next 10 minutes or so. Where would you like to scream? Where would you like to see the franchise go from here? And what are your all's expectations or ideas for Scream 8? Because I already got like the perfect idea for Scream 8, but apparently what Scream 8 is supposed to do is supposed to be a direct sequel to Scream 7. So I'm probably going to have to wait until like Scream 9 or Scream 10 before I get the story I truly want. As y'all are getting those in that chat section right there, I would say for what I want for Scream 8 is we definitely have to lean more towards the Tatum side of the story at this point. Because I think it's just at this point, we've done everything that we possibly could do for Sydney Prescott. And I think it's really honestly time for her to go. I hope they do not kill her off. But again, the more you're in this franchise, the more likelihood it is for you to be a goner. So I just think for Scream 8, we're going to lean more towards Tatum's character, and we're going to get her a really big and very necessary like character building, and just making her a badass final girl for Tatum to carry on the Scream franchise from this point of time. What we got here, Herbert? Let's see here. Sydney having a daughter suddenly reminded me of Halloween 2018, where Laurie suddenly had a daughter and a granddaughter. Yeah, you know what? That is absolutely true. But it was already insinuated in Scream 5 that Sydney definitely did have children. So she actually has three children, with Tatum being the oldest, and the other two are like small children age. So they definitely did represent a Scream 5. So it just wasn't like out of the blue random that like Cindy had a daughter. We knew this was going to happen, and I figured eventually they were going to include her into the story. Which I definitely still like that Tatum was the name of the daughter, because of the fact that of how much we really enjoyed the Tatum Riley character from the original Scream. And as Cindy said in the movie, that it was her one and only best friend, which and you could buy it too with the chemistry they had with each other in Scream of 96. Okay, let's see here. What else do I feel like I need to go over? I think we got most of the bigger points in this movie without trying to figure out something like very minor or something very, very small to go over. Oh, here we go. Guys, what do you all feel? How do you all feel about in the third act? We got to see Stu. We got to see Billy's mother, Mrs. Loomis. What do we feel about Roman? Like, did we like that scene, or did we just feel like it was kind of like for me, it was just too nostalgic, too much nostalgia thrown in your face? Like, acknowledge this nostalgia. Like, dude, I get it. It's nostalgia. Calm down, relax. Like, so I was just okay with that scene. It was cool seeing them again, and Dewey was a part of that as well. It was cool seeing them again, but it was just too much nostalgia for my taste for a movie to do. At this point, if they kill off Sydney, you now set up Tatum for dealing with the same fate and trauma as Sydney. Her mother being killed by someone as a Ghostface. And I feel like that is probably the ballsy move that again we've been saying about this franchise here in this particular stream, is for the fact that like we need Scream to be daring again. And what a big way to be so daring that to kill off the greatest final girl in horror movie history. Is she my personal favorite final girl? No, but I do recognize the fact that she is number one for most people's lists, and rightfully she deserves to be. But again, that's just the daring decisions, the just being having the guts to pull the trigger to do something so cool and epic, or something so daring. That would be it. And maybe Scream It absolutely could be it. But you know what? We'll see, because from rumors I've been hearing that Scream 8 is greenlit and it is set for production in the fall. Is that an actual true thing? I guess we'll see in the fall time. Scott and David were just playing themselves. The only ones that actually played their character in the scene was Matthew and Lori. Um, oh, is that the name of Mrs. Loomis? Is Lori Loomis? I Because that, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know. I could just be just so dumb and just not really recognize it. But yeah, and you know what? Again, that's okay for me, just for the fact that it was just great seeing Scott Foley and David Arquette again. It was just so cool seeing them again. Brooke, what's going on there, Brooke? How are you doing? Hopefully, all is going well with you. You rate this. I just saw it for a second time. See, damn, I'm just being lazy here. I haven't gotten the chance to see it for a second time, so I'm just, I'm not as big of a Scream fan as I'm saying I am. So I'm going to have to try to change that as soon as possible. But Brooke does say, "Hey everyone," and then in fact, she loves it even more now after second watch, giving it a solid 4 out of 5. And you know what? That is a really good ranking, and that is awesome, Brooke. And I'm glad you had a great time with it on second watch. Let's see here. Mrs. Loomis was the biggest kept secret of the whole movie, but the AI was lazy and really forced. I don't think it had the impact they were going for. And I absolutely agree with you. With the impact of using it. Like, it would have been better if they would have used it. Like, if Stu was the first one to appear, if in the next call it could have been Mrs. Loomis, then the third call be Scott Foley, if in the fourth call. And this to me is the one I really was hoping they would have showed. They would have showed Jill Roberts, Cindy's cousin. That would have been something cool to see on that TV screen, to see Emma Roberts appear in a little cameo. But yeah, I agree with you. With that whole thing in general, I just thought it was lazy, and it really honestly didn't go anywhere. People talk about Freddy's dead with all the adults being psychos in Springwood. What about Woodsboro? 14 different people have done the Ghostface killings in that town. Yeah, I would just say that that particular town, even though I will say Woodsboro is different from the setting of this particular movie. From my understanding, it was somewhere in Indiana that they were living at now. So it don't matter where Sydney goes, Ghostface will always follow. Great kills in Scream 7. Yeah, I thought that the kills in Scream 7 were very solid at best. Definitely Hannah's kill was my favorite kill of the entire movie. Because again, I'm a little biased towards McKenna Grace because I think she's just doing a phenomenal job in Hollywood, which is just unfortunate. That unfortunately, the horror genre doesn't know what to do with McKenna Grace, which is disappointing. But all the other genres know exactly what to do with her, and she has been absolutely excellent. So hopefully, one horror movie someday will know how to use McKenna Grace's as, star power. I really do hope so. Jamie, what's going on there, Jamie? How are you doing, sweetheart? Hopefully, all is going well with you. I will be seeing you in about an hour and 6 minutes over on Chills and Thrills as we watch or watch The Evil Dead. Again, we're watching The Evil Dead over on Chills and Thrills in about 1 hour's time. I gave it a 4, but after rewatching it and letting it sink in, I lowered it to a 3.5. Still fun, but flawed. And I agree with that. This movie is definitely flawed, and it definitely has just a whole bunch of. You can even borrow the Creed song from Scream 3. What if? Like, seriously, what if they went into different directions that we talked about on this stream for Scream 7? I feel like Scream 7 could have been the most daring. It could have been taking the most risk. And that's why I just wanted a Scream movie right now. I just want something fresh, new, and something that creates stakes for our main characters, and just to do something ballsy and daring. So would Scream 8 be that movie, or do we have to wait for Scream 9, or do we even have to be super patient and have to wait on Scream 10? Because you have to know at this point we're going to be getting Scream movies up till we reach Scream 10. So let me know. Do you all think we're going to get to Scream 10? Let us know in that chat or in that comic section if you're watching after the fact. I'm looking forward to it. I'm running a tiny bit behind at the moment, but I should be on time one of those days. Well, that's okay, Jamie. Just take your time. We'll be sure to get you in there. If we have to stall a little bit, we trust me, we got 3 talkers on that stream, so we'll definitely be good at the point of stalling. So you just take your time, Jamie, and we will see you there in about an hour. I love The Evil Dead, the king of the 80s, VHS video nasties. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And of course, we have that whole thing of the whole deal that Scream and the Evil Dead franchises are the only horror franchises out there that are very consistent when the terms of the quality of their films. Like, there's not a bad entry in either of those franchises. We will see what things come to term with Evil Dead Burns, but from everything from the synopsis and behind the scenes, I think that we are going to get us another great entry of the Evil Dead franchise. And I still say right now, the king of kings of the horror genre, when it comes to terms of a franchise, does indeed belong to the Evil Dead, but close, very close in second. It's definitely the Scream franchise. And I definitely am one of those that does not believe that Scream 7 lowered the quality or it was a bad inclusion of the franchise. I can still have fun with Scream 7, but it's not as great as I was hoping it for it to be. But maybe in the future, maybe they can learn from this movie and give us something fresh, new, or daring in the upcoming other Scream movies we're going to get on that quest to Scream 10. Because I'm just telling you, we are on that quest to Scream 10. Oh, the monster won't go away until the money goes away. Yeah, you know what? Damn right. Absolutely agree with you on that because if the franchise keeps making money, the franchise is going to keep moving on. And I did saw the number that Scream 7 is now the most profitable movie in opening weekend of the Scream franchise, and it made $65 million on opening weekend. So that you can't take it definitely shatters Scream 6's records on that. So you do got to give it some props that people were still excited about this movie regardless to go check it out in the theater. And Gory Tiger, what's going on there? Gory, how are you doing? I am just now officially getting ready to wrap up this stream. I need me an hour break so I can get ready for Chills and Thrills, as we will be starting the March theme of Cabin Creeps, which is the horror genre set in the cabin. And we got to do the traditional The Evil Dead from 1981. So that will be coming up over on Chills and Thrills at 8 o'clock Eastern Time with me and my co host Keelan from Kill the Credits, with our lovely special guests of Davey Defray and Jamie Hart. So you do not want to miss out on all that fun. And if you join the Goodwill Hunting Discord group, in the Chills and Thrills Auditorium, we will be playing The Evil Dead for you for free. So you need to help on that Discord so you can get a free viewing of The Evil Dead, just in case if you do not have access to that movie. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and bounce on out here, which I will quickly read what the results of this poll is. What do we got here? We got 21 votes. And we got 33% of the 21 votes saying that this is pretty damn average, which, you know what, that is absolutely fair to say that this movie is pretty damn average, because at the end of the day, it really is average. Tied for second place is Kicks All of the Ass and Solid as Hell. That's some good tailings right there. And then 19% said this movie is dog shit from a horse's ass. So you 19%, we need to have a one-on-one talk. Like, where did Ghostface hurt you? Show me on the doll where Ghostface has stabbed you. So those are the polls from that. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. And Holly, I always got to say hi to Holly. I love Holly. How are you doing? Hopefully all is going well with you. Saying looking forward to it. I bet that is for the Chills and Thrills show. And the last thing I am going to say, and I'll end the stream when we are at that hour mark. This coming, we're going to get Fried Bites on Wednesday. So Fried Bites episode 29 on Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. I will be thinking of another fast food restaurant for us to pick the best food items at, to continue that little quest of the best fast food item of all time. We're going to continue that journey. And then this Thursday, we're going to do an early birthday stream for Brad. So Brad's birthday is coming up, and for his birthday stream, he wants to lead it into your all's hands for a live Q&A. So it's pretty much like a Fried Bites Live, but with all three of the Good Real Boys. So this coming Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, another episode of Good Real Live, where it will be Brad's birthday Q&A. So be sure to ask some good get some questions ready for that Thursday stream. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and head on out and prepare for Chills and Thrills for Cabin Creeps, The Evil Dead, and I will see you all next time this Wednesday for Fried Bites Live episode 29 at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, and I will see you guys later. Peace, everybody.